2025 is here, and if you aren't starting 2025 successfully, the probability of you having a successful 2025 is actually pretty slim. So many people start out the new year with some great goals and great ambitions, and they shoot for the stars. But before January's out, most people fall short of their goals. I read over one book per week, and something that I learned from some of the greatest self-help authors is the way that you start something is normally the way it pans out. So when starting a new year, we want to be very strategic and set some goals for the new year. So in this video, what I'm going to be sharing with you are some tips in order to have a successful 2025. So if you want to have a successful 2025, the number one thing you need to recognize is the way you start something is the way that it pans out. So if you do not put the effort into the beginning of the year for your 2025, you will not have a successful year. Because how often is it a Monday and people wake up, they feel average on a Monday, and then what happens to the rest of the day? They write off the day because they started it poorly, but then they've written off the day, so then Tuesday comes around and they're like, do you know what? I've had a bad Monday, let's just write off the week. So then what happens? People write off the week, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, look, I'm just gonna wait to the following month to start fresh again. And then this leads into the year. So often we get caught up in the new year, the new day, the new month, we ride them off before we get started. So the way that you start the year is gonna give you an up to ensuring that you have a successful year. It's gonna give you the motivation to have a successful year. So just by recognizing this, you're gonna have a great year. So many self-help authors and influential motivational speakers, they all talk about, we don't need to start the day, the week, the month, great. We can do it in the very moment. The reality is, yeah, we can start the new year, great. We can start the new week, the new month, but you can actually do that in the moment. But I think that comes with understanding. It takes time. I think if you can recognize that the way you start something is going to be the way that it pans out, and if you can understand that from a deep understanding, you'll be able to have a successful year and propel the week, the month, the quarter into a great year. And to have a successful year, I need you to get out your calendar. So often we actually don't put the time aside to be able to reflect on the year that was and actually set some goals for the new year. So get out your calendar and schedule in some time. If you're an employee, speak with your boss and take a day off within probably the last week of the year or the last couple of days of the year, so you can actually do some reflection. I always grab my calendar, I always block out a day to spend that time planning for the year ahead. And if you don't have the time to do that, well, you might as well write off the year and start fresh the following year, because if you're not gonna do that, you're not gonna do what it takes in order to have a successful year. So get out your calendar, block out some time so that you can actually reflect on the year and set some goals for the year. When I'm about 30 days towards the end of so pretty much in December, I'm already starting to think about my goals, but by allocating a day, I'm able to put the focus into what I want to work on for the new year and set myself up for success. So you've scheduled in your calendar a day to reflect on the new year and set some goals. But what we actually want to do on that day is we want to have a great night's sleep, get up early, have breakfast, go through our routine so we're feeling energized and feeling good about the day. If you're going into your New Year's planning with low energy, you're not inspired, how do you think you're going to transfer that into your goals? You're going to transfer low energy into your goals. So I'd strongly suggest, going through, getting a good routine or getting a good night's sleep, following your routine so that when you start your day to plan your goals and plan the new year, you're feeling revitalized. And think about some things that you did well in the year and think about some things that you didn't do well in the year. So often we overlook how good we do in life and we forget to pat ourselves on the shoulder. So what did you do well? Pat yourself on the shoulder. So how do you show up at work? You did great, pat yourself on the shoulder. How do you show up in your relationships? You did great, pat yourself on the shoulder. But then also, if you didn't show up well, reflect on, why didn't you do well in those areas? Because it's going to give you an insight and it's going to give you a platform to have a successful 2025. So you've gotten out your calendar, you've done some reflection, and you're getting ready to set yourself some awesome goals and have a kick-ass 2025. But what we need to do is actually go through each of the areas of life and we need to rate them. We need to be very objective. From 1 through to 10, how did I show up in each of my areas of life? We have the mind, we have the body, we have the soul, we have work, we have money, we have relationships, and we have social impact. These are the common 7 areas of life that you'll see all the self-help authors talk about and all the self-help gurus talk about. So these are your 7 areas of life that you really want to put an emphasis on and think about. So rate yourself through each of those areas of life. How do you show up on a scale from 1 through to 10? And some areas might be lower than others. But by doing this, you're putting it on paper and you can see what you need to work on for the following year. This is really, really important because if you don't know where you are, how can you set goals to move forward? You can't. So this gives you a starting place to work from so that you can propel into the year successfully. So once you've gone through each of your areas of life and you've rated yourself from 1 through to 7, how you've showed up for the previous year, what you actually want to do is set yourself some goals. So I think it's very, very important to be specific, and we don't want to aim for too many goals because we want to end up with nothing. The old saying goes, if you try and catch 2 rabbits, you end up with none. So we want to think about each area of life and set 1 goal per area of life. And what is actually going to give you the biggest bang for your buck? So really, really reflect on each area of life and set 1 goal per area of life. So for me, my goal over the next 12 months is I actually want to get down to 12% body fat and I want to have rock solid abs. It's just my goal. I've never had rock solid abs. I've never been 12% body fat, and it's something that I really, really want to work towards. So what is your goal? What 1 goal are you going to set per area of life that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck? And set those goals and write them down and keep them with you literally all year. So you can get a gold card, you know, a small business card or an A5 card, write your goals on it and chuck it in your pocket. And you can actually look at this, you know, every day. If you're looking at your goals every day, the law of attraction, manifestation, the funny thing is, you're going to draw those things into your life. It's going to happen. So in order to have a successful year, you've set yourself some goals, and if you don't take action, the truth is nothing will get done. So we need to be taking action towards our goals each and every day. And it could just be something small, but taking action is so, so important. I try to work on each area of life each and every day. And by doing that, I know I'm 1 step closer to achieving my goals for the year. So when you've set your 7 goals in your 7 areas of life, what you want to do is then try and work on one of those goals every day. Or alternatively, what some people do is each day of the week, they'll focus on a different goal to work on. So I think keeping it top of mind, having a goal card with your goals written down in your pocket or on your phone or as a wallpaper on your phone, your goals, these are going to keep it top of mind and take action, because if you don't take action, nothing gets done. So work on your goals each and every day, and the law of attraction is going to bring that to you, and it's going to come, and you're going to have a successful 2025. And in order to have a successful year, you've set goals, you're taking action. We need to review frequently. If you are setting yourself a goal and you're not looking at your goals, if you're not reflecting how you're showing up in your areas of life where you've set your goals, you're going to fall short. The Navy SEALs are so successful, athletes are so successful, sports teams are so successful. Why? Why do you think they're successful? Because they take the time out to debrief and review how they showed up for the day, the week, the month, the quarter, the year. If you're not taking time out to review, you're not going to have a successful year. So I would suggest every Sunday, quickly going through your areas of life, how did you show up? At the end of the month, literally the last day of the month, it'll take you 5 minutes or 10 minutes. How did I show up in each of the areas of life? At the end of the quarter, how did I show up? What this is going to do is keep your finger on the pulse to ensure that you're putting energy into your goals. If you set a goal at the beginning of the year and you're not looking at it frequently, it's going to die off and you're not going to follow through. So look at your goals constantly, keep them before you, review how did you show up, what have you been doing well, what haven't you done well, and work on that. For example, the other day, my goal again is to have, my 6-pack abs or 8-pack abs with my 12% body fat. The other day, we had cheeseburgers, homemade cheeseburgers, they were great, but I ended up having 2 burgers instead of 1. I only needed 1. But then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, I actually reflected and I was like, I actually didn't need 2 cheeseburgers. I could have got away with 1. So reflect on how you're showing up in each of your areas of life. And just by reflecting on your goals and taking action, your goals are going to come to fruition and you're going to have your best year ever. So you want to have your best year ever. You want to have a successful 2025. Follow these steps and I guarantee you will have a successful year. I didn't make up these steps. I learned these from some of the greatest self-help authors that have ever been around, and they haven't been successful just by, chance. They've been following systems and processes and a strategy in order to have a successful year. And if you follow these steps, you will have a successful year. You're going to kick some goals. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you did get value, hit like, hit subscribe, as it really does help the YouTube algorithm share my video with others just like you. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video, and let's have an awesome year.